Hello students, myself Shefa Shah from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Information and Communication Technology. Today we are going to start a lecture series on microprocessor and microcontroller. Today is our first session in which we are going to cover our first unit, first lecture, that is Introduction to Microprocessor. Topics to be covered in this following session are basics of computer system, introduction to microprocessor, and how does the microprocessor works. Now, basics of computer system. So, first of all, what do you mean by a computer? So, a computer is a programmable machine that receives input, stores and manipulates data information, and provides output in a useful format. Clear? So a computer is a programmable machine that receives input, then it will, after receiving the input, it stores and manipulates that particular data and then provide in a useful form. Now the basic components of computer system, it consists of a CPU, memory and a IO unit. Following you see the diagram of basics of computer system. Here in this there are three main components. First, this is CPU, second this is a memory, and third this is IO devices which is connected with the processor IO interface. Clear? Now in this these three elements, that is CPU, memory and interface, are connected with the help of system bus, which is divided into three types of buses. First, that is address bus, second that is data bus, and third that is control bus. Clear? Now, as you can see, the address bus, what does the function of address bus? That is, the CPU will take the address, various address, clear, while reading out the instructions. Clear? So, the address will be either of memory or either of the IO device. So, it will point out to the memory or IO interface, and it is a unidirectional. Clear? Now, whatever the address, wherever it is fetched, from that address, it will take the data, either it is from IO device, RAM or ROM, and then it will come to a data bus and then it will process to a CPU. Clear? So, as you can see, for RAM and IO device, the data bus is a bidirectional way. Clear? As we can read data also and write data in IO device and RAM. Clear? But in ROM, we can read only that particular data. We cannot read or write or upload that particular data. So it is a unidirectional. Clear? And this peripherals connected, external peripherals connected with the CPU, these are controlled by this control bus. Clear? So this is the whole basic diagram of computer system. Now, going forward to the next topic, that is basic concepts of microprocessor. So here, for learning the microprocessor, here we have divided into a three components. First, that is microcomputer. Clear? So what is a microcomputer? So microcomputer, it is a programmable machine, and the two principal characteristics of computer are, it responds to a specific set of instructions in a well-defined manner. Then second, that it executes a pre-recorded list of instructions which is predefined in each and every program, right? And the main components, as we discussed in previous slide, that is CPU, IO devices and memory. Clear? So following here you can see this a diagram, block diagram of microcomputer, where the main component is CPU and all rest of all the three elements, that is input device, memory and output device, are connected with the processor with the help of system bus. Clear? Now, second itself is a microprocessor. So, microprocessor, it is a programmable VLSI chip which includes ALU, register circuits and control circuits. Its main units are ALU, register unit and control circuit. So as you can see in the block diagram of microprocessor, that is, first part is register. Register is used to store the elements in the binary format, which is 0 and 1s. Clear? Then second, that is ALU. ALU does the operation of arithmetic and logical unit. Clear? So So the data from the data to be processed in ALU will be stored in register itself. Clear? And the third last, that is control unit, which is which gives the necessary control and timing signals to the external peripherals connected with this processor. Clear? Now, third component, basically this is a microcontroller. So microcontroller is a small embedded system in which it consists of a processor, which is MPU, right? And the memory, IO devices, external peripheral devices, all are connected or mounted on a single chip in a single package, right? So as we can say that this is a controller is a small embedded system in which it includes microprocessor, memory, IO, peripherals and a single silicon chip. Clear? Whereas in processor it has to be connected externally. Clear? Now, next going with the definition of microprocessor. So, microprocessor is a programmable, clock-driven, register-based electronic device. What is the microprocessor? It is a programmable. That means it can be programmed. It has a specific set of instructions. Then clock-driven. As we all know that each and every microprocessors we are using in our day-to-day life, in our computers, laptops, all will having a definite or having a working on a definite frequency, but you can say definite clock speed. Clear? Then register based, register is used for as a storage element, and electronic device. So all these features are mounted in a single, all these features are mounted in a single device, which is called as electronic device. Now, what does the microprocessor do? So first of all, it reads the instruction from storage device where the instructions has been stored, either it is a ROM or RAM, right? Takes the data from the input, right? So it will take the data from the input device. Then, as per this instruction, it will process the data. Clear? Process the data according to the instruction. Clear? And after processing the data, that data will provide at the output unit. Clear? So basically it will read the instruction, take the data, process the data according to the instruction, and it provides the result to the output unit. Now, the main features, that is programmable, clock driven, register based and electronic device, this all will be explained one by one in a detailed way, right? So what does the programmable means? So programmable means it performs a different set of operations on the data depending on the sequence of instructions supplied by the programmer. So what does the programmable mean? So every microprocessor has a definite instruction set, and depends on the instruction written in the program, the data will be changed by the instruction. Clear? Now second, that is clock driven. So clock driven means whole task is divided into basic operations are divided into precise system clock periods. That means the task which the task or the program which is written in a software, right, will be divided into a basic operations or basic cycles, and by the help of these cycles the processor will execute each and every instructions. Then next, that is register based. So register based, that means the data where we need to follow the ALU instructions, the data need to be stored temporarily in the registers, which are made up of flip-flops, and again they are stored in a binary format in terms of zeros and ones. Clear? And last, that is electronic device. So electronic device, that means all these features are fabricated on a chip. So it is called as a electronic device. Now, moving forward to next, that is how microprocessor based system will look like. Clear? So this following diagram shows the microprocessor based system, right, in which the microprocessor will have a three different controls or three different elements, that is ALE, ALU, register and control unit, and that is connected with the IO device and memory with the help of system bus. Right? Now, we will see each and every function in detail. So, first of all, going with ALU. So, what does the ALU do? So ALU will do arithmetic and logical operations like add, subtract, and or. Then register array. What does the register array do? It stores the data during the execution of program. Clear? So whenever the ALU operations we need to do, the particular data will be stored on register array on the temporary basis. Then next, that is control unit. So control unit will provide necessary timing and control signals, and it controls the flow of data between processor and peripherals, right? So the data going or taking input from the input device and going out from the output device or memory can be all controlled by the control unit, right? Now, next, moving forward to memory. So what does the function of memory? That it stores information such as instructions and data in a binary format, that is in terms of zeros and ones. Clear? And it also have a subsystem of memory which is called as registers, which is in the inside of processor. Clear? And basically the memory is divided into two main parts, which is ROM, read-only memory, and second, that is random access memory, RAM, or read-write memory. So ROM is used to store programs that need not any alterations. Clear? Whereas RAM can be used to store programs that can be read and altered like programs and data. So whatever the programs or data where we do not change data or programs frequently, that need to be stored in ROM. And the data and programs that we are changing frequently, that to be stored in RAM. Clear? Next, that is input output. So input output device, what it will do, it will communicate with the outside world. That from the input device, the data will be cached by the processor, it will be processed, and after that the processed data will be given at the output device. See, clear? So output device can be either screen, LED, LCD, anything can be an output device. An input device can be a keyboard, keypad, switch, it can be an input device. Clear? Now, last, that is system bus. So system bus will provide a communication path between a processor and peripherals, right? So what does the communication path means? So a group of wires to carry bits. If it is a 4-bit, then it will have a 4 groups of wires which are connected to a flip-flops. Clear? So the data can be directly connected or to the processor to the peripherals, right? So the system bus, as we have said, the system bus is divided into 3, that is address bus, data bus, and control bus. So by the help of these 3 buses, the communication between the processor and peripherals can be obtained. Now, next, that is how does a microprocessor works? Clear? So how does the microprocessor work? So first, to execute a program, the microprocessor reads each instruction from the memory, interprets it, and then executes or performs it. Clear? So whenever each and every microprocessor has its own software language with its own instruction set, right? So the program written in that assembly language, first of all, it will read each instruction, right? After reading that particular instruction, it will interpret it, so it will understand the meaning of that instructions, and after interpreting, it will execute or perform as per the instructions. Clear? So this read, interpret, and execute will have a definite name, which is called as fetch. Fetch means to read the instruction. Second, after reading, it interprets. Interprets means to decode the instruction. And third, it executes or perform it. That means execution of the program. Clear? So these 3 cycles will be done sequentially till the whole program will be performed. Until all the instructions are performed. Let us understood these 3 cycles with the help of one example. Let's take one example of add instruction. Add will do addition of 2 datas which are situated in 2 registers. Clear? So what it will do? First, it will add the instruction, that is ADD, So whenever it reads the instruction ADD, it will go into a library and it interprets it. That means decode. So after decoding that instruction, the processor will get to know. That means after adding, it will after ADD instruction, there are two elements or two datas which need to be added. So that is called as decoding, right? And after decoding, whenever the two datas gets added and then it is executed, then it is stored in a right hand side of the register, that is called as execution. Clear? So in these three cycles, fetch, decode and execute, this way the program, or you can say the processor, will work. Clear? Till this in this session, till this we have continued. After this, the next three topics of the unit 1 will be continued in the another session. Okay.